Jersey City is one of the most densely populated cities in the country and one of the most diverse cities in the entire country. And while we've had an initiative focused on outreach for months now, we continue to struggle in certain census tracts, and we're trying today to highlight that, to bring more awareness around what the importance of the census is for the future of Jersey City and how people can get involved. Today, Jersey City is approximately 50% in the response rate. That's significantly lower than the state of New Jersey, which is around 62%. This census tract here is around 33%. So it highlights the challenges in more economically challenged communities of getting people to respond and to trust the process, which is important for federal funding long term. So we have a couple people here before we go out and actually knock on doors, but I can't express the importance and at the same time the frustration of the census response and the hope that people become more active in responding, because it will shape Jersey City's future for the next decade. I'm going to turn it over now to Council President Joyce Waterman here to say a couple words.
Good morning. This is an important day, and why this day is important because we're in a place where people feel insignificant. And so we're here to let them know they are very important in this process, very important. They have the power and ability to shape the future of this area. And so we want them to know your voice is important here. You need to be at this table because we need more schools, more hospitals, more programs. And we want them to know that we're here for them, and we're here to knock on doors to let them know you're not insignificant. You are very important in this process, and you will shape our future. Believe me, I want to echo that. You will shape our future, because your registration will determine what schools, what hospitals, what programs, and we need your voice right now. There's a quote that says, "You have not because you ask not." And so this morning we're asking the people in this area to please register for the census, because we need to hear your voice. Thank you, and God bless.
I want to turn it also over to the councilman for this area who represents this district here in Holland Gardens. And again, the importance of today is not to sugarcoat what's happening and pretend like we're satisfied with the response rate. We're definitely not. And we're frustrated and concerned about some of the poorer communities in Jersey City with exceptionally poor response rates. So we're hoping to correct that, bring awareness to that, and make sure that Jersey City gets on track to where it should be with regards to the census. I want to turn it over to the councilman for Ward E, James Solomon, who represents this area.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. Just want to very briefly reiterate the comments that Mayor Fulop made, Council President Waterman made about how important filling out the census is, and specific to this area. One of the major needs that we have here is public transit. There is no public transit here. We've worked with Mayor Fulop, Council President Waterman, and the whole council to bring the VIA service here, which is great. And now we can get more. So the more people live in the neighborhood, the more we can advocate for better public transit options, the more we can advocate for better housing options. We will be able to deliver on the things that we work so hard to do in partnership with the community by filling out the census. So we're here to knock on doors, talk to folks, and as the council president said, let them know that we're all in this together to make this neighborhood a better place. So we'll fill out the census, and thank you all very much.
And I'll turn over also to Councilman Rolando Lavarro at large, who just wanted to say some words.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be very brief and just echo what the mayor and the council colleagues. We're all in this together. These are trying and demanding times for everyone in Jersey City, state of New Jersey, and around the country. We recognize that residents in all over Jersey City, but particularly in the neighborhoods of low income and minority communities, and that they've been on the front lines, and so they've struggled in dealing with this pandemic. And it's a lot to ask from people to deal with something like filling out a census form, but we're asking you to do it because we need you. We need the people of Jersey City to step up in this, because as Council President Waterman said, it's one more bed at a hospital. It could be the difference between us having representation in Congress or not, maybe one less legislator if we don't have everyone counted. It matters in dollars and cents for the city of Jersey City, and all of the services that can be provided, from affordable housing to medical services and other services. So please, we're out here. I don't come out much at all these days, and I'm out here because it's that important. We urge everybody to step up and really fill out the census forms. I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
I'd like to bring up Deja from the Census team, who's leading the effort here in Jersey City. She could speak to some of the numbers and some of the challenges that we've been experiencing here, and hopefully we still have time to correct that, and that's why we're out here pleading with the public, make sure that they fill out the forms and take it seriously. There are no do-overs to this. And again, I know most cities and mayors say things are going well in this situation. I don't think we're happy with where we are today, and we need a better response rate. And if Jersey City is going to get what we deserve in the next 10 years, we need the entire population of Jersey City to participate and do what they need to do, which is just to fill out a simple form, which takes no more than 5 minutes. So I'll turn it over to Deja.
Good morning, everyone. So in reference to the 2020 census, some basic information that we want to share with the community, that it's less than 10 questions. We're asking basic information. It should take less than 10 minutes, and the impact that it has is for the next decade to come. So particularly today with this action that we're taking, we're here in census tract number 78, and that's how the Census Bureau breaks down the city. And this is the worst performing census tract in the city of Jersey City and also in the county of Hudson. It's coming in reporting today at 33.3%, okay? Jersey City's current total census self-response rate is at 50%. So we're lagging behind the county's overall response rate at 56%. We're lagging behind the state's overall response rate at 62%. And we're also falling behind the national average census response rate of 64%. So there's a lot of work that we can do, but that also means that there's a lot of room for improvement. And the big message is that we can't do it without each and every single one of you. Every resident in Jersey City counts. We keep reiterating the citizenship question is not on the census questionnaire. And we need all of our residents in Jersey City to stand up and be counted so that we can get our fair share of these federal resources that are critical to our infrastructure, our schools, and everything else that we want to do to really create the Jersey City that we can all imagine for ourselves. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, before we knock on any doors, are there any questions, comments? Otherwise, yeah, go ahead. We had a meeting yesterday with the superintendent of schools. Look, I don't blame teachers for being concerned and apprehensive about coming back under the current situation in early September. There's a lack of information and comfort that they're clearly expressing, and so I don't blame them, and I'm not surprised by the response rate. And while it's not my decision ultimately in Jersey City, we have an elected Board of Ed, I'd be really surprised if we meet the September 10th target. I just think there's a lot of moving parts in order to make that work, and we're trying our best to create flexible schedules within the city's environment to allow parents to have more comfort in their ability to work and provide daycare. But the way that some of the school scenarios could potentially work out, where you have a week on and several weeks off, makes it very, very difficult. So still a lot of challenges. I'd be surprised if we meet the September 10th deadline. So.
Mayor, can you talk about the demographics of this census tract and what the city's response rate was to the last census?
Tish, you want to come in?
Okay, no problem. So this census tract, their final response rate for the 2010 census was 62%. It's also good to note that how census breaks these census tracts up is based on population. So this particular census tract was split in two from the last census. So the other census tract immediately next door doesn't have a response rate for the last census because it is new for this census. In reference to the demographics of this community, this is a perfect location to kind of highlight the variety of housing that we have in this area. We have some single family and multi-family standalone dwellings back on these next couple of blocks. We have right here our affordable housing that's run by our Jersey City Housing Authority. And you can see behind us, we do have some new construction of some very high-rise multi-dwellings. As far as the residents that are here, it's very ethnically diverse. And this neighborhood does reflect the diversity of Jersey City as a whole. and also our age demographics vary greatly in this neighborhood. So some of the barriers that we're trying to overcome here are language barriers. We do have residents that are new residents to our community and to our nation here, so they may not be knowledgeable about the census and the importance of it. So we just want to make sure that we're reaching people. We're working together with other community groups to ensure that we're giving them messages, but it's messaging in languages that they understand, but it's coming from trusted partners in their communities.
You mentioned the language barrier. Are there other obstacles that you guys are dealing with when you're on the ground? Because I know you've been on the ground here in Jersey City for quite some time getting the word out. What is the biggest obstacle at this point?
The biggest obstacle, so we also understand that in the state of New Jersey as a whole, about 12% of our population doesn't have internet access in their homes. So with this being the first time that residents can fill out the census online, prior to COVID, we had planned drop-in locations at all of our public libraries and also locations with other partners to provide telephone access and internet access for people to fill out the census. So due to COVID, we also do not have that readily available to the community. So we're trying to find other ways to encourage response. We do have a group of census takers that are out here with us today, and they are equipped along with the city team with tablets, with data plans, so that as we go around, we can assist with collecting census responses immediately.
Any other questions? All right. Yeah.
About how many people do you think Jersey City has? Do you think it will surpass Newark?
I think if we get an accurate count, we will surpass Newark. I mean, we've built more than any community in the state of New Jersey by far. And you see that in housing starts and COs every single year. We've led the state of New Jersey by significant numbers. If people participate as we expect them to participate, we will surpass Newark. I'm very comfortable with that. The challenge is that you can't have districts with 33% and then still expect to achieve a goal of being the largest city in the state of New Jersey. So we're here going to knock on doors today, hopefully correct it. This is not the only underperforming district in the city. There are a lot of them, and we need to correct it. That's why we're here today.
What was the city's response rate in 2010?
Deja, you want to come on up here for a second?
The overall city response rate in the last census?
So this response rate for the census is broken up into two parts. It's broken up into the self-response and total final response. So for the last census, the self-response rate for Jersey City was 58%. The overall final response, that was after the census takers went out for the non-response follow-up, was 62%.
I want to add one thing. In 2010, Hudson County and Jersey City in particular, as the seat of Hudson County, had one of the largest undercounts in the entire country. And we went through the process to appeal that on the census. It's a very difficult thing to do. There is no official recount or redo, so you get one shot at this. And so the fact that we are underperforming where we were last year is concerning for us, or last decade, 10 years ago, so we need to correct that. So I do want to say thank you to the council people that are here to see the importance of this. We do have the majority of the council here. We have our Ward B Councilwoman, Mira Prince Airy. We have our Ward F Councilman, Jermaine Robinson here. We have county representation from the Freeholder Board, which has been terrific partners for us, with Anthony Romano that represents this area. And I think that's it on the elected officials. I don't know if the county, you want to say anything on behalf of the county? And then we'll shut it down and start knocking on doors.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, the importance of today is seen by all the several important elected officials that are here. Those with the least need us and this census the most. And it's up to us to try to get this moving. It's very important. I want to thank Francesca, who the other day in Hoboken, in an undercounted area, worked very hard. Belinda, our community leader here, and our committee person, and obviously working the county and the city together. It's much more important than just doing this separately. So thank you to everybody that's here, and let's get this moving. Thank you.